What's the password?
I'm coming in.
Nope, try again. You're no fun.
Yo,
you know
what are you working on right now?
Just next week's script, the Ultra video.
Hey, look at you getting ahead. We have a couple more products coming in, but we are starting to run out of...
What is that? Well, the key one's not Bluetooth, so I have to use...
You disgust me. You're trying to make videos on keyboards with a cable looking like that?
You obviously have not seen how much those cost. Dude, I'd be out an arm and a leg for one video.
Oh, actually, your broke ass is
Hey.
up.
Cablemod sent us out.
Alright, enough chit chat. I gotta run, so before I'm back, get that fixed.
Oh, get it fixed. Why is he running away before we start?
in the corner, I heard that.
Fine, I'll set up this stupid cable.
I don't mind if you don't listen that much. But some of y'all don't listen at all. The same they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd.
Hey everyone, I'm Coiled, and today I'm talking about the rabbit hole of mechanical keyboards, but more specifically coil cables, whether or not they're worth it, and how they can really level up your board. Back in October, I fell into this expensive hobby when I picked up the Keychron Q1, which was my first custom pre-built mechanical board. I was extremely impressed by it, for being $200 with great build quality and pre-lube switches that felt very smooth and sounded great. But looking back from a pure aesthetic standpoint, the included coil cable really took away from it. Just around a month back, I began to trick out my Q1 some more, bought some new keycaps, and at the perfect time, Cablemod reached out offering to send out some of their coil cables for me to check out and review. There's still a few more upgrades I want to make, so make sure to ring that bell real loud so you don't miss that or any of the other future videos I drop. Full disclosure, I did receive these cables for free, but that does not affect my views. I'm not getting paid and they didn't get to see this video any earlier than you. Now with that aside, let's get into talking about coil cables and whether they're worth spending the money on. If you just need something to connect your keyboard to your PC and that's it, just go on Amazon and get something for a few dollars that'll work just fine. And of course, you can always just unplug it for the IG pic so it doesn't kill the vibe of the board. To reiterate, having a coil or an aviator in some pretty colors doesn't provide any performance improvements. But if you do get a cable with an aviator, it can actually help reduce the amount of wear and tear that the port on the keyboard itself will get if you're constantly changing out your cables. Aside from that though, if you're anything like myself and care way too much about the aesthetics of your setup, and you want that extra spice in your shots, then that is why you should buy one. Getting to the cables themselves, I received two of Cablemod's pre-built options in their white glacier colors. While I kept it simple, they have a ton of options for colors, so you shouldn't have an issue finding one that'll complement your board well. They also have a custom configurator if you're willing to spend some more money to get a little more. They sent out one classic and one pro coiled cable, the only difference between the two being that the pro version includes the aviator. I've been daily driving the pro and honestly haven't even touched the classic because, come on, say it with me, aesthetics. The box design isn't anything special, and after watching some other videos unboxing their custom options, kind of wish I had that fancy little carrying case now. But I do still dig it. It's pretty minimal with a small cutout showing off the coil. It's packaged inside quite nicely, and upon taking it out, you'll be happy to know that it stays fully intact without any signs of bending. As well, the dowel rod adds an additional layer of protection during shipping, which is definitely appreciated. The design of the cable itself is fantastic. I chose the white finish to go along with the vibe of my setup, and it looks so good. It matches real well with my keycaps and is a massive step up from the cable that came stock with the Q1. The coil is very firm and holds its shape. It's also, in my opinion, the perfect length, not being so long that it looks odd alongside the keyboard or is sagging. The cable from Keychron was unfortunately not very good with this and made the experience of using it feel a lot less premium. So when it comes to build quality, I've been very impressed. The aviator feels super solid and gives the whole cable a super clean vibe. As I said, the cable is very firm and also smooth to the touch. The outer layer of the sleeves feels solid and is very neat, showing attention to detail in, I guess I'll call it the fibers on the outside. The reverse coiling helps to keep it in place. Unlike some other cheaper cables, it's much more difficult to unravel and permanently damage this thing. The big advantage of this one over my previous cable is definitely that strength. It feels much tougher. Well, I gotta say, Keychron didn't do too bad of a job considering it came with the board that was already priced extremely well. The cable felt very flimsy. This guy gives me the exact opposite feeling, and I have no doubt this is going to last for quite some time. I think really the only place this cable lacks is with its connector. The material of the cable itself is very high quality in my opinion, but the plastic on each of the connectors, as well as these small oval cutouts at the very end, take away from the premium look and make it feel much cheaper. And if you've ever watched the channel before, you know I'm about to get furious about this. So, the cable is USB-C to USB-A. Oh, like, come on. You know, everything was going so good. I was about to sit here and be like, this is the best cable on the market. and they turn around and do this to me. I use a MacBook Pro 16-inch as my daily driver, and while the 2021 model brought back ports, it's still lacking USB-C, so an accessory I had to pick up was this Anchor USB-A to C dongle. Luckily, I can attach this right at the end of the Cablemod cable and have it up and running perfectly, but I can't lie that it takes away from the aesthetics. They don't offer any option with their pre-built cables for USB-C to USB-C, only making it available with their custom configurator. Now, this is going to be very nitpicky, but I honestly don't like the Cablemod branding on the USB-A connector, as the black text on the white makes it very noticeable. But once I get the cable plugged into the board, almost all is well. It's angled so that the coil is going to the right, and then the cable just goes back, so whether I'm using my MacBook at the left or PC at the right, I don't have any issues. However, what I will say is that the length is a bit short and cuts it real close to reaching the ports at the back of my PC. I definitely would have liked to see them have a longer option, especially because I don't think that my PC is actually all that far from the keyboard. With all this said though, I think that when you look at the price, $50 for the Pro Coil cable, or $40 if you don't care about the Aviator, this becomes a fantastic option. It's no surprise to any of us watching that mechanical keyboards are an extremely expensive hobby to have, and the cables are no exception. They can get crazy expensive, but I do think that at this price point, the quality you get from Cablemod here is really hard to beat. And honestly, I think that more importantly than anything, it just works. There's not necessarily anything super special or fancy about it, but that's fine. It looks good, it'll make your keyboard look even better, and it's just solid. I think it's one of the best budget options to seriously level up your build. I've been using it for the past month, and these are my thoughts. I'm extremely pleased with how it's performed, and it makes for a fantastic upgrade to my Keychron Q1. This definitely is not going anywhere anytime soon. I really appreciate everyone who's made it to this point in the video, and if you enjoyed, drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you'll be here for more tech content in the near future, and especially be able to see me make my final, for now, upgrades to this keyboard. That's all I have for now, so I'm out, and until next time, take care.
Realize the movie that I was watching, it's the end of the world, illuminati.